Hey, welcome back to Real Estate Wisdom with Vish, the podcast where we get real about real estate in the GTA. Today, I want to talk to a very specific group of people, condo owners who feel stuck. Maybe you bought pre-construction in 2021, 2022, and now the value has dropped. Your appraisal came in low and you are scrambling to find extra money for closing. Maybe you closed recently and your rent doesn't even cover the mortgage, condo fees, and taxes, and you are bleeding hundreds of dollars every month. Or maybe you had an end user who bought a condo for say 750 or 800,000 at the peak, and now similar units are selling for much less. You feel like you can't sell, you can't refinance, and you definitely can't sleep well. If that's you, this episode is for you. In this episode, I'm going to share 2 or 3 real life inspired stories of condo owners who got hit hard and, more importantly, walk you through the each steps I recommend to people in this situation in today's market. First, let's set the stage for what's actually happening. Across the GTA, condo prices have dropped sharply from the peak in early 2022. Average condo prices are down close to double digits year over year, and some specific buildings are pre-con projects are down 15 to 25% from the peak levels. At the same time, many investors who closed on new build condos in the last couple of years are in negative cash flow every single month, often hundreds of dollars out of pocket even after collecting market rent. Rents have softened a bit compared to the 2023 highs, and there's a lot more condo supply coming to the market, especially with thousands of units completing in 2025 and 2026. So if you are listening and thinking, why does it feel like I'm the only one drowning? You are not. There are thousands of people in similar boats right now. But saying you are not alone doesn't pay the mortgage. So let's get practical. I want to share a few stories that might sound very familiar. The negative cash flow investor. Raj bought a 1-bedroom condo in 2021 as an investment. Purchase price around $650,000 with 20% down at the time. Numbers kind of worked. Rates were low, rents were climbing, and everyone around him said, condos only go up. Fast forward to 2026, rates went up. His mortgage payment jumped, condo fees increased, and rents in his area actually slipped a bit. On paper, his condo might be worth, let's say, $580,000 to $600,000 today. And after mortgage, condo fees, taxes, and utilities, he is negative $600 to $800 per month. Raj feels trapped. He doesn't want to sell at a loss, but he's tired of bleeding every month. He's scared that if this continues, his savings will run out. So, what did we do? Step 1, we got brutally honest about the numbers. Not what unit should be worth, not what his friend's unit sold for in 2021, just what is it worth today? What is it actually renting for today? What are all in monthly cost? Mortgage, condo fees, insurance, taxes, special assessments. Step 2, we stress tested his cash flow. Could he realistically carry a $600, $800 loss for the next 2-3 years without blowing up his life? If he couldn't, when would he hit the wall? Step 3, we explored options. Could we raise rent a bit at renewal or add value with small upgrades to justify better rent? Could we restructure the mortgage, extend amortization, switch product, or consolidate other debts to free up monthly cash flow? Could he bring in a partner or family to inject some equity and lower his monthly burn? And finally, step 4, we compared those options to selling even at a painful number. Sometimes the smartest move is to take a controlled, known loss today instead of risking a forced sale or missed payments later. Other times, if you have the income and run away, holding through the cycle can make sense. For Raj, when we laid out the scenarios, he realized he actually could carry the negative for about 3 more years without stressing his family, especially if we shaved a bit of the payment and nudged the rent. So he made a conscious decision to hold, not because he is stuck, but because he understands the trade-off and has a clear exit plan. If you are like Raj, your homework from this episode is stop guessing. Sit down with your numbers or reach out to someone you trust to walk through them line by line. Story number 2, the pre-construction buyer hit with an appraisal gap. Lots of out there. Let's talk about pre-construction. In 2021, Sarah bought a pre-construction condo in Vaughan. Price was around $800,000. She put down 20% over a few years, expecting the unit to be worth more by the time it was ready. Fast forward to 2026, the building is finally completing, but the market is very different. Recent sales in the building and nearby are coming in 15 to 20% below the prices paid at launch. Yes, that's a brutal reality. A lender sends an appraiser, and the appraisal comes back at $650,000 instead of $800,000. $150,000 gap. That means instead of borrowing 80% of $800,000, the lender will lend based on the appraised value of $650,000. Now, Sarah has to come up with a big chunk of extra money to close, on top of the deposit she already paid. She looks at her accounts and realizes she doesn't have it. She asks the builder if she can assign the unit to someone else. But because the market is weak and assignment demand is low, the builder either says no or wants big fees that wipe out what little cushion she has. Suddenly, she is facing the possibility of losing her deposit and potentially being sued for the builder's loss if they resell the unit for less. If you are in Sarah's situation, or you think you might be when you're building registers, your options are not fun, but they are usually. First, find a way to close. Family help, partner, private funds, or a second mortgage to bridge the gap. Sometimes this is worth it if the long-term plan is strong and you can afford the higher payments. Number 2, negotiate hard. Negotiate with the builder or timelines or payment structure. In some cases, developers will work with buyers rather than push everyone into default, especially if many buyers are in the same position. Number 3, assignment at a realistic price. If assignments are allowed, price it where the market is today, even if it means taking a loss. Many pre-con assignments today are trading 10 to 30% below original prices. As a last resort, talk to a lawyer. If you truly can't close, don't just go silent. Talk to a real estate lawyer who deals with pre-construction defaults so you understand your risk and potential outcomes. For someone like Sarah, the key is to stop thinking in terms of what I deserve or what it should have been worth, and start thinking in terms of minimizing damage and protecting future you. Sometimes that means swallowing a painful loss, but keeping your credit, your sanity, and your ability to buy again later. Story number 3, the end user. If I call this client Jason. Jason bought a condo in downtown Toronto as his home in early 2022 for around $750,000 with 10% down. He loves the building, but in the last year, units his line have been selling closer to $650,000. On paper, he is underwater. If he sold today and paid off the mortgage, commissions, legal and closing costs, there wouldn't be much left. Maybe he had even have to bring money to the table. So Jason feels completely stuck. He wants to upgrade to a townhouse or a semi, but he thinks he has to wait until prices go back to peak. God knows when. Here's what we did. We ran a true sale versus keep comparison. If he sold today, what would be left after all costs? How much would he need to buy the next place he actually wants? If he stays, what does his monthly cost look like versus renting something similar? Could he rent out his condo and move to a rental? Essentially, turning his negative equity into a long-term hold. We also look at his time horizon. If you are planning to move in 1 year, that's a very different decision than if you are okay staying put for 5 to 7 years. After going through everything, Jason realized his situation wasn't as hopeless as he thought. He decided to stay in the condo for at least 3 more years, focus on paying down the mortgage, and build extra savings on the side for the next move. The key shift for him was this. He stopped calling it a mistake and started treating it as just one chapter in his longer real estate journey. Okay, so what do we do with all of this? If you are a condo owner in this market and you feel stuck, here's the framework I had recommend. First, get clear on your current reality. Today's value based on actual recent sales in your building or area. Current rent you could realistically achieve. All in monthly costs, mortgage, fees, taxes, insurance, utilities. Second, define your time horizon. Are you forced to make the move in the next 12 to 18 months because of job, family, or an upcoming renewal? Or can you realistically hold for 3 to 7 years if it makes sense? Number 3, stress test your cash flow. How much negative cash flow, if any, can you truly afford? For how long without credit cards, line of credits, or your mental health exploding? Number 4, know your tools. Refinancing, extending amortization, switching from variable to fixed, or vice versa. Bringing in a partner, cosigner, or family loan. Turning your home into a rental and renting something cheaper yourself. Selling now to stop the bleed even if the sales price hurts. Number 5, decide on a plan you can actually sleep with. There's no one right answer. There's a right answer is the one that balances math, risk, and your life. If you're listening to this and thinking, Wish, that's me, I'm Raj, I'm Sarah, I'm Jason, here's what I had suggest. Reach out and let's quietly stress test your numbers. We'll look at your current value, your mortgage, your rent or potential rent, and your goals. And I will walk you through realistic options, hold, restructure, sell, or something creative in between. You don't have to post publicly. Just send me a message on Instagram, WhatsApp, or through my website with the word condo, and we will take it from there. Remember, being stuck is a feeling, not a fact. You may not love your choices right now, but you always have choices. Until next time, stay wise out there. And if you really like these episodes, please do share with someone you love, someone you want to help. We really appreciate that. We put a lot of effort behind the scenes, and we want to reach out to more people. And we can do without your help. So I'm asking you again to like, subscribe, and share. We'll really appreciate that. Again, this is Vish signing off. Bye for now. Disclaimer. The information provided in this podcast is for informational purpose only and should not be considered as financial or investment advice. Consult with your professional before making any real estate decisions.